You're watching Euronews now. I'm Paul Hackett. Here are our top stories. Moscow warns Washington to stop arming Kiev, stating the move to send advanced rocket systems to Ukraine is a direct provocation. Denmark votes to opt in. An overwhelming majority vote in favour of joining the EU's common defence policy. And 4 days of festivities kick off as the UK celebrates Queen Elizabeth's 70 years on the throne with the Platinum Jubilee.
Russian troops are said to have entered the centre of the key strategic city of Severodonetsk in eastern Ukraine. With fierce street fighting continuing, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has conceded that Kyiv's forces are suffering up to 100 deaths and 500 wounded every day. And in the nearby town of Lysychansk, tensions are growing among residents who fear it's only a matter of time before Russian forces head their way.
This is not war on front line, this is a war with civilian and without city and town, and destroyed all life.
Locals are surviving on deliveries of humanitarian aid.
To tell you the truth, I can't believe I'm living in a shelter at my age. I'm like a homeless person.
With much of Ukraine's eastern region taking a pounding from Russian shelling, Zelensky has welcomed the news that the US plans to send more advanced rocket systems to his country. But Russia's foreign minister has accused Washington of adding fuel to the fire.
Ukraine's demands for arms are a direct provocation aimed at drawing the West into hostilities.
Concerns that the weaponry will escalate the war have been dismissed by the US, saying Kyiv will not use the new systems against targets on Russian territory.
It's Russia that is attacking Ukraine, not the other way around. And simply put, the best way to avoid escalation is for Russia to stop the aggression and the war that it started. It's fully within its power to do so.
If Russia captures Severodonetsk and Lysychansk, it will hold virtually all of Luhansk, which is a key war aim of Vladimir Putin.
It looks like hard times are ahead for the Priolo oil refinery. Thousands of workers are at risk of losing their jobs at the plant in Syracuse, Sicily. Owned by Moscow's energy giant Lukoil, the operation generates half of the province's GDP. The refinery only refines Russian oil. However, banks are refusing to extend credit lines to Moscow-owned ISAB, which would allow the factory purchase crude from other sources. Following the EU's decision to stop most Russian oil imports by the end of the year, Italy's Ministry for Economic Development says the country and its employees face an uncertain future.
Of course we worried for our jobs, because if Lukoil goes away, there's an entire hub which is connected with it. There would be a domino effect that would drop the entire system, involving other companies in the chemical sector, the port, all the interconnected companies. We're talking about approximately 10,000 jobs, which account for 50% of the gross domestic production of this province.
While Europe has decided to cut 90% of Russian crude imports, Italy has become the only country on the bloc to increase its purchases. In May, the Mediterranean country received 400,000 barrels of oil from Moscow per day, 4 times pre-invasion levels. Meanwhile, Lukoil's port in Burgas, Bulgaria, the largest in the Balkans, is also experiencing problems. The refinery says their factory was specially designed to process Russian crude and would have to reduce their capacity to clean oil from the Middle East or North Africa.
An overwhelming majority of Danes have voted in favour of joining the EU's common defence policy 30 years after opting out. The vote comes on the heels of neighbouring Finland and Sweden's historic applications for NATO membership, as the war in Ukraine forces countries in Europe to rethink their security policy. Tonight, Denmark has sent a very important signal to our allies in Europe and NATO and to Putin. We're showing that when Putin invades a free country and threatens the stability of Europe, we other ones pull together. A total of 66.9% of Denmark's 4.3 million eligible voters were in favour of scrapping the opt-out, while 33.1% voted against. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen welcomed the result, saying in a tweet that Denmark's decision was a strong message of commitment to our common security. Denmark and the European Union would benefit. Denmark's defence opt-out has meant that Copenhagen, a founding member of NATO, has since 1993 not participated in EU foreign policy where defence is concerned and didn't contribute troops to EU military missions. This will now change.
The outcome of that referendum in Denmark will be hailed here in Brussels today as Denmark, a traditionally Eurosceptic country, taking a step towards further European integration. You might remember back in 2000, Denmark, a small EU member state, held a referendum about joining the Eurozone, and they decided back then to opt out. But it looks like now, with the war in Ukraine, people's minds there have sharpened, if you like, and they want to be now part of European security and defence policies, because since 1993 they've been kept out of all the discussions and they've opted out of all the military operations that the EU has carried out in Africa and also in Bosnia-Herzegovina. But that said, nothing will change overnight, and business as usual here when it comes to defence and security for the time being. Maeve McMahon, Euronews, Brussels.
Let the festivities begin. 4 days of fun in the UK start today to celebrate Queen Elizabeth's 70 years on the throne. And royal fans determined not to miss a moment arrived early to get a good position in front of Buckingham Palace in central London.
I've got a camp chair, I've got umbrellas, I've got a tent, I've got a sleeping bag. I'm here early to set up my spot so that I have a good, viewing vantage point for when the Queen goes down the mall.
You've just got to be here, haven't you? This is the 6th time I've come down, and I wasn't going to miss the Platinum Jubilee after coming to all the others. So, had to be here.
It's the only way to make sure that you're at the front of the barrier when that royal coronation coach goes past, that golden coach, and to see the Queen in it will be the most magical moment.
The 96-year-old monarch's Platinum Jubilee is being marked with parades, street parties and concerts. It's hoped the weather wants to play its part too, with a bit of sunshine. Fans of Johnny Depp cheered outside the courthouse in Virginia, chanting "Johnny." It's after a jury awarded the Pirates of the Caribbean star a total of more than 14 million euros in his libel lawsuit against ex-wife Amber Heard. In a statement on Mr. Depp's Instagram account, he said he finally got his life back after the 6-week defamation case over bitterly contested allegations of domestic abuse. Amber Heard said on Twitter she was disappointed beyond words and called it a setback for women. However, the actress has been awarded nearly 2 million euros in compensatory damages for a statement by one of Depp's lawyers, calling her abuse allegations a hoax. Jurors found that Ms. Heard's 2018 article about her marriage were false and that she'd acted with actual malice, making her guilty of libel.
Today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case.
However, the trial has divided opinion. Critics claim the petitioning of Ms. Heard amounted to an orgy of misogyny.
Jacqueline, if I can have you get in on that. Thank you.
You can read much more on our website. Do check it out. Time for us to take a short break. We'll be back in just a few moments.